Hi everyone, good morning and welcome back to another video, another session of Analytica. So today we will be discussing question number 8 of 2019, that is of 2019 ethics paper, GS4 paper. So I Himanshu Shukla welcome you all, and I would like to thanks again those who have participated in the previous video and those who are watching it continuously and they are contributing and doing the homework and replying in the comment section. So thanks for that. I hope it is helping you all. So let's start with today's case study and the discussion. Today, the case study which we are going to discuss is about civil services. So if you will analyze the previous year paper, if we analyze the ethics paper of GS4, GS4, that is ethics paper, you will find that in 2009 most of the questions were either section A question or the case studies. They were related to civil servants, public service values, public authority. The questions were public policy, they were related to that. However, in the previous attempts, or for that matter in 2020 itself, in previous years also, the questions were either mixed or mostly from the part A of the syllabus, that is a starting portion. Emotional intelligence, values, human values, moral thinkers, philosophers, human interface. So the most of the questions were revolving around that. But in 2019, they were related to civil servants, public services, public policy. So even in this case study, it is asking that the question is the scenario is that here honest and upright officers are there in civil services and they are the hallmark of the civil services, but sometimes there will be some bona fide mistakes, honest mistakes. The intention behind that, those mistakes are not malified, so but they get penalized for that. So what all should be done, how to protect them, and if to tell in a specific, the question is saying how does trend affects the functioning of civil services. First part. Second part, what measures can be taken to ensure that honest civil servants are not implicated for bona fide mistakes on their part. Justify your answer. So if I tell, then what should be the demand of the this case study, or what should be the structure? So the structure should be something like this. So first you have to tell about the values needed for civil servants or for civil services. Okay, then you have to tell what it leads to, its impact. So first here you will take the examples, you will take the help of examples, then you will tell its impact and like what all can be done, what can be done. Okay, this should be the structure. Starting with the values needed in civil services, what we will tell, values needed in civil services. First, basically with the help of values needed in civil services, and with this example you are trying to give background, कहते हैं ना context build करना, भूमिका बना रहे हैं, so we will do that. Okay, then we will come to the main demand, that is demand number 3 and demand number 4. If I talk about values needed in civil services, so what all values are needed? If we come across these values: honesty with duty, honesty with the whatever responsibilities they are performing, utilizing the resources, their power, their seat, the authority in a responsible manner, okay, and managing the resources for the welfare of the people, uprightness, objectivity, right, objectivity in while handling the politicians, being value neutral, objectivity to in or how to resolve the ethical dilemmas, objective in corrupt situations, maintaining their integrity, commitment, responsibility, integrity, impartiality is one of the most important thing, and above all they have to uphold the code of conduct, they have to uphold the constitutional values, right, under constitution, this all India services, they have certain responsibilities to do. There is code of conduct which they should follow. So ultimately the value system which the civil servants have to follow, it should be at individual level, it should be within the framework of the constitution, it should be at the level of the their organization. They have to follow certain code of conduct and they should uphold those values. After this introduction, then you will tell if this is not these qualities are lacking. If these qualities are lacking, then what will happen? We all know. If these qualities are lacking, then 2G scam will happen, Vyapam will happen, right? Then Commonwealth Games will happen, scam. What else? Are you familiar with this case study, or not case study, this example? This example is there from Bhopal. There was a corrupt IS couple. I think the name is Arvind Joshi and Teenu Joshi. So just go back and read their history, read back the story, how they got indulged in this corruption, how in fact they were topper of their time. Mr. Arvind Joshi was topper of his time. He was in IPS, then he joined IAS, but they did lot of corruption and lot money, benami transactions in share market. The modus operandi was very unique. So just go and read about them. So give these examples that if those qualities are not there, or if they are missing, then all these problems will happen. So you have given example also, and through example you are trying to tell that how it affected the economy, how it affected the society, how it affected the country, and ultimately the main purpose of the civil servants, that upholding the values, that was somewhere compromised, and it affected everyone, all the stakeholders, right? Now coming to impact. Okay, so here we have seen that what is happening if there is a compromise with these values, then ethical fading is happening. What? Ethical fading, or if we can say also ethical erosion. Ethical erosion has happened. Because of this ethical fading and ethical erosion, what will happen? First, foremost thing, moral fabric of the civil services. Those who are committed to do services, it will be affected. So moral fabric will be compromised, as it is given in the case study as well. Moral fabric will be affected. Then faith, trust, it will be gone. So there will be a trust deficit on the part of the citizens, who believe that okay, these administrators, they are there to they are there for us. So there will be a trust deficit not only on the part of the civil servants, there will be a trust deficit on the part of the government also. The people, they will start taking, there will be a deficit there. It might lead to breach of social contract as well, but here breach has been done by the executives. Okay, so that trust deficit, this will happen. Also, when people are indulged at that level and they don't respect these values, they don't uphold these values, then what will happen? Misappropriation of fund will happen, misappropriation of power will happen, misuse of power will happen, and it will lead to ultimately what? It will lead to corruption, it will lead to nepotism, it will lead to favoritism. Such things will happen. So what will happen? Favoritism, then nepotism, corruption. Okay, all these things will happen. Ultimately, there will be compromise with the weaker section, with the welfare of the weaker section, and that will be derailed or it will be delayed. Okay. Corruption, when we talk about this nexus will happen, nexus of the politicians, bureaucrats, nexus of the people, because if there is compromise in the values, then people will go for nexuses, unholy nexuses of the, with the politicians, with the corporates, and the money will be diverted, vested interest will be taken care, favoritism, nepotism, such things will happen. Then what is happening? As we have discussed, it is derailing the development, or it is delaying the development, but also it is causing the wastage of resources and increasing the inequality. Oxfam report you can quote here. Delay in projects will happen, delay in welfare of people will happen. So this collusive thing, the bribery, the collusive corruption affects all that way. Okay, and ultimately there will be compromise with duty, there will be compromise with responsibility and commitment, which they need to follow by upholding the value system. Okay, also you can take the help of Vijay Kelkar committee, which highlighted that due to this inefficiency, due to this problem, it leads to policy paralysis. It leads to policy paralysis. It leads to red tapeism, and due to red tapeism, due to policy paralysis, what will be what will happen? People will run away from responsibilities. Okay, this was found that these regulators, they put lot of, if any civil servant, they have committed honest mistake or bona fide mistake, then what will happen? They start doing lot of scrutiny, lot of investigation. The honest officers, they will feel that that's not right. They feel harassed rather. So ultimately they stop taking decisions, that okay, I will not take any decision because my decision might be questioned. I might get into trap of any regulator and it will affect my career. So people start avoiding taking decisions. Then also it will lead to delay. Then policy paralysis will happen. Then red tapeism, it will lead to red tapeism. And ultimately it will cause all these problems, and it will ultimately affect what? That people will start running away from responsibilities. Above all, when all these things are cumulative, then what will happen? Ease of doing business will not happen, investment will not come to the country, economic growth will not happen. If economic growth is not happening, people are not happy. If people are not happy, then they will not give vote, and there will kind of political instability will be there. So this one problem might lead to multiple problems. So it will lead to a vicious chain of problems. So that way you link and try to think on those lines. Okay. So here we have discussed under impact, we have discussed almost 7 to 8 points. That way you use them, and you can use them to think and categorize that how to process the information. Okay, coming to next part, which is what can be done. Okay, we'll see. So here the question is saying what measures should be taken so that the bona fide and bona fide mistakes of the civil servants, some measures should be there which doesn't affect their functioning, and also it doesn't penalizes them. Unnecessary harassment is not there. So first we need to understand this mala fide and bona fide intention. So what is mala fide mistake? When the intention itself is wrong, some work has been done, some action has been taken with mala fide intent, that is wrong intention. The thought process behind that action itself is wrong. The intent, the incentives are very different, and itself maybe you can say for corrupt practices. The intention is to earn illegally, to run some organized crime. So like that, the vested interest will be there. Bona fide intent, the mistake which has been done honestly, like without, I'm not aware of that I'm committing mistakes, because the situation is so complex. Civil servants have to operate in very different set of scenario, complexity of rules, complexity of society, there is diversity in the society. So your one decision, it might affect n number of people. Even though if you try that, okay, I will try to minimize the impact, but some or the other way, sometimes it happens that mistake will be honest and you will be not even aware of that, but somebody will be there behind you and they will catch. Okay, so ultimately what is needed? Ultimately the need is that we have to think that on the individual level, at the individual level, first and foremost thing, at the individual level, things has to be there. So at individual level, if I'm a man of values, if I'm a person of character, then I have to be very particular with respect to my choices. At individual level, I have to practice honesty, integrity, and I should never compromise that. I should not be influenced by the societal norms. I should not be influenced by what my colleagues are doing, what my boss is doing, what my seniors are doing. If they are doing corruption, I should not indulge in corruption. That should be the spirit. I should be a person who should be guided by my principles, by my values, not by societal norms, what society will think. Or if I have to grow materialistically in society, then let's do corruption. That should not be the agenda. The agenda should be always respecting your values, respecting your principles, and giving them priority, right? Then you are man of character, then you are man of principles, or a person, man or woman, they can be anyone. So here at individual level we have to do certain things. Then what next we have to do? Next, as we discussed, these legal measures and regulatory measures like CVC, Lokpal, CBI, even Prevention of Corruption Act 1988, there are provisions that some mistake has happened and they will somehow harass the civil servant. They will not look into the intention. So first you respect the try to differentiate the malified intent versus bona fide intent, or bona fide mistake for that matter. When they will be able to differentiate, then only they will be able to do justice, or they will be able to do any they will be able to give any fair treatment to the civil servants, right? So on their part, they should ensure that proper differentiation should happen. No harassment should happen at their level. In fact, to tell you that Prevention of Corruption Act amendment has been done in 2018 to check this policy paralysis on the part of civil servant. They should not hesitate in taking decisions that what their decisions will lead to. So some provisions has been made there. You try to find out. That should be your homework. Under Prevention of Corruption Act 2018 amendment 2018, what all changes has been brought, which will help the bona fide mistakes or the civil servants, and it will not lead to policy paralysis. That's the homework for today. Okay, let's see. So the root cause of the problem, as we discussed, the second point with respect to the regulatory bodies and legal provisions, that they start harassing the people, harassing the civil servants. They don't look into the intention. They go by rule. Okay, so supervision has to be fair. They should not harass. Rather, it should be friendly. Okay, give them opportunity. Third, of course, reducing discretion and going more for transparency, accountability, improving the transparency, accountability. E-governance is the way. So that is a general method. You can maybe give it last priority. Next, fourth, a fair opportunity should be given, an opportunity to be heard, or of opportunity to be to defend ourselves should be given to the civil servants. Let them let hear it out, like what they have to tell, what was the thought process behind, and how they got trapped, or have they committed this mistake really or not, what was the intention behind. Then we will get to know the malified intention or the bona fide mistake it is. So an opportunity should be given to them to be heard, to defend themselves. So that should be taken care. Fair opportunity should be there. Okay, right to defend and right to be heard. Fair opportunity. Next, we have also found that this performance appraisal, ARC, or annual performance appraisal, APR is there. It is called as APAR also, or ACR, on annual confidential report. So such kind of practices are there. So most of the time the bosses, they will fill the APAR, or you have to also fill the APAR. It is based on your work. It doesn't take into the attributes. It doesn't take into account the value system of that individual. So just imagine if we do this course correction and we start mentioning the value system or about the character or the attributes of the individual in those APAR, and in future if something has happened, then we should go and look into the APAR, that okay, what is the character of that person? This person is a man of values or character or not, or he has compromised his integrity and he is known for that, right? So if we start maintaining that record will be very helpful for understanding an individual and to check whether the intention, what was the intention behind, malified or bona fide. But now it's very mechanical. What work we have done, we have to highlight there. What all we have achieved, that we have to highlight there. So it has become quite mechanical, and sometimes under pressure people start cheating as well. They start mentioning anything. Okay, that can be cross-checked by the senior, that can be cross-checked at the department level, but there also there is a scope of collusion. Okay, so that is another dimension. Since situation is very complex, so we should know that okay, values has to be given respect. Okay, that was with respect to APAR, that annual performance report, or ACR. Sixth point, so we have discussed 5 points. Sixth point is, sometimes let's say if my name has come up in this scam, or this if I am a civil servant and my name has come up in any scam or any fraud has happened, before I being punished or proven guilty by the courts or by my investigation authorities, I will be branded as corrupt. There will be the stigma against me. और people will start discriminating. होते ना, जनता ने अपना ही कानून सुना दिया, मीडिया अपना ही फैसला सुना देते कि ये ऑफिसर करप्ट है. So that should not happen. For that, what we need, anonymity should be maintained by the investigation authorities. कोई नेम बाहर नहीं आना चाहिए. So anonymity is required, right? The investigation should happen discreetly. Okay, and whenever it is necessary, then only whatever need to know basis information should be released in the public. So maintaining anonymity, not harassing people, should be maintained, and ultimately he should be proven guilty. Then only he or she should be branded that okay, they are corrupt. Until unless, nobody should give any judgment. So that's the responsibility of society, that is the responsibility of media, and most importantly, it is the responsibility of our investigating authorities, that they should maintain anonymity. Okay, so with this we come to the end of this question, and we come to the end of the discussion. So we have seen what all has to be done on the part of what measure is required. Then we discussed earlier that what is the impact of compromise when we compromise these value system, and we gave the build up that okay, value system, what desirable values are needed, and we gave examples. So you have to follow this structure, then it will look more appealing. Okay, so let me know if any difference of opinion is there on presentation. And yes, I have given the homework. What are the amendments which has been suggested under PC Act 1988, and amendment was done in 2018 to not to punish these bona fide mistakes of the civil servant. So that's all, my dear friends. Let's meet in the next discussion. Hope you are enjoying, and before that, I hope that you are writing, and if you are writing, then you must be seeing the progress. We have already discussed 20 questions. If we have not listened to this, if you have not written, go and write, then you will feel the difference. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.